Oh, and we are live streaming. Thank you, Erin. We can wait for our numbers to hit, I don't know, 30, 35, and then we'll get rolling.
If that's the second thing you said.
All right, okay, we hit our magical number 35, so we can kick things off. First off, just want to say thank you to everyone for your flexibility with doing this over Zoom, as in the good old days. I'm feeling just fine. Thanks so much for everyone who's been checking in. I've really appreciated that. Really hoping to be out by Saturday for Easter and get to enjoy that celebration. So again, thank you all for checking in. Really appreciate it. We can start it off with Jordan Leiden delivering our opening prayer.
Thank you. In the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Dear God, we thank you for our opportunity to serve Our Lady's entrusted community. As we continue to reflect this Holy Week, may we remind ourselves of all of our blessings in our lives. May we continue to give thanks for our community and ensure that we strive to listen and learn from others. May we lead by example and act as forces for good in both our Notre Dame community and beyond. Through our dedication, may we call this community our family and this university our home. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jordan. That was beautiful. Loved the Holy Week twist on it. And as usual, we'll hand it on over to Catherine to do a roll call.
Awesome. Okie doke. Dan Bowden-Diestel.
Here.
Isabella Garcia.
Here.
Danny Sturmerhorn.
Here.
Sarah Kirsch.
Here.
Will Forson. Bridget Arbuckle.
Here.
Dan Law.
Here.
Anoop Sunkara.
Here.
Michael Murakami.
Here.
Jordan Leiden.
Here.
Niels Casperson.
Yep.
Maggie Allen.
Here.
Peyton Mueller. Eliza Smith.
Here.
Henry Jackson.
Ciao.
Ben Earhart.
Present.
Jason Thomas. Natalie Ortega.
Here.
Molly Strock.
Here.
Lainey Teeters.
Here.
Ahmed Al-Hossani.
Here.
Alec Brailer.
Here.
Bianca Burnett.
Here.
Carson Thompson.
Here.
Libby Messman.
Here.
Anisha Japira.
Here.
Michael Lynch. Miles Kelly.
Here.
Alex Kobolowski.
Here.
Patrick Lee.
Here.
Grace Franco.
Here.
Teresa Salazar.
Here.
Henry Bates.
Here.
Blake Johnson. Johnny O'Meara.
Here.
Renee Pearson.
Here.
Jordan Thuralt. Sam Canova.
Here and in crisscross theme. Shout out Renee.
Ricardo Poses Garza.
Hi.
Connor Delaney's proxy.
Here.
Rachel Engel.
Here.
Madison Nemeth. Aaron Benavides.
Here.
Minu Selvin.
Here.
Mairead Pfaff.
Here.
Julia Dilhoff or Kurt Golden. Here. Thomas Davis.
Here.
Esteban Linares.
Here.
And Karen Kennedy.
Here.
Awesome.
All right, thanks so much, Catherine. And as you know, we'll hand it back over to you to give us a brief recap of last week's meeting.
Awesome. So last week was very busy. We had SS 2021-33, a resolution requesting a formal statement to all university teaching staff regarding mini break classwork, which was passed. SS 2021-34, a resolution encouraging the adaptation of Murrow FY experience course to tell a fuller and more inclusive version of the history of the University of Notre Dame, which was passed. SS 2021-35, a resolution requesting the integration of Notre Dame ID card into smartphone wallet applications, which passed. SS 2021-36, a resolution responding to the disbandment of Zom House, which passed. And then 2 orders, SO 2021-24, to suspend class council and hall elections, and SO 2021-25, in order to reappoint senators to serve the remainder of the 2020-2021 academic term, which both also passed. And that's everything from last week.
All right, thanks so much, Catherine. It definitely was action-packed. Does anyone have questions, comments, or concerns about those minutes from last week? All right, seeing none, those minutes are approved, and we can head on over to some executive announcements. And I believe I'll hand over the first one to Aaron.
Hi, everyone. So with an update on CLC, as you know, the Campus Life Council met this last week, and this week the working group met to discuss movements on SS 2021-27 and SS 2021-29. Ultimately, the working group decided that it was in the best interest to, rather than just send those off to Erin Hoffman-Harding, to invite her to a dialogue. So earlier today, we sent an invitation to Erin Hoffman-Harding to join us at our meeting on April 8th, which is next week, next Thursday, in which we hope to have a conversation with her, including about, COVID, those resolutions, obviously, and the ever-changing situation, including vaccination, and also just on, discussions about what purpose the CLC serves. So that is our next steps, and that's what we got up for CLC for the remainder of the semester as well.
Sweet, thanks for that CLC update, Aaron. I can transition us to our student advisory group update. As you'll see, I changed the agenda. Our meeting was scheduled for next Monday. It was actually just bumped to tomorrow. And our main topic of conversation there will be to discuss how vaccination efforts could impact campus health protocols. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns about that topic, feel free to direct those our way. And another big meeting coming up is our next Faculty Senate meeting, Tuesday, April 6th. I will be in attendance at that meeting. So again, we don't get those agendas until the morning of. It kind of runs a bit differently than Student Senate, but if you have anything that you think the faculty needs to know, feel free to send that my direction as well. All right, that's all we have for executive announcements. We postponed the State of the Student Union address to kick us off next week, so that it can be the crowning touch of our last meeting together, again, hopefully in person, which means today we will start with SO 2021-26, which is an order proposing an amendment to the Constitution of the undergraduate student body to establish Diversity Council as a special interest organization. And I'd like to invite either Kaya or Stefan to present this resolution to us, as well as to give us a brief set of context on how it evolved.
Yeah, I guess I'll start, then I'll hand it over to Stefan if he wants to add. Hi, everyone, I'm Kaya. So I guess starting a little bit about this, I think a few factors were involved. It was kind of a convergence. Part of it is DC being interested in becoming an org, which I'll let Esteban talk with, but then also important to part of how this, I guess, order came to be is thinking of MSIC and how they fit into the equation. So MSIC, for those of you who don't know, is the Multicultural Insight Student Committee. Actually, I always use the acronym, but so this summer, following a lot of the like Black Lives Matter movements that were happening, a lot of the like Black student leaders and other students of color on campus were kind of wanting to talk about making changes at school and for how these students were kind of like experiencing Notre Dame. And Erin Hoffman Harding actually reached out. We started to have conversations with her and other administrators. And just from that, it developed, and we just kind of talked a lot about the different changes we'd like to see done at Notre Dame. But from that, we developed this committee where we wanted to figure out a way to, I guess, like make these structures more long lasting and to kind of like solidify this connection with administration. So we kind of like took that motivator and then also coupled that with DC wanting to kind of find a way to, I guess, almost transition more or have more of a like holding in like the policy realm and like trying to change some of the policies on campus to better serve traditionally marginalized students on campus and communities on campus. So kind of, I guess, pulling those two together is really how we started to get into this and wanting to make DC a special interest org. And I think I'll stop there and see if Estefan wants to add anything or anyone else who's here. I know we have some people from DC here as well who we could yield our time to. But just let me know however works best on here.
Yeah, thanks, Kaya, for sharing. I only want to share two things. And one thing is, I'm not sure how many of you were here last year for the presentation that Frankie and I did, but we've come a long way since. I think personally and professionally with the group, we've become, I think more ambitious with our goals. We've like established MSIC as part of our organization. We have empowered more of our marginalized communities, I think, to engage in this effort and also just reach out to clubs and become more present, because we want to be a large force and a big force that is honestly here to dialogue and communicate with all of you and work with all of you on things and move forward together. That's always been my goal. Like I preached in the last conversation we had, it's all about, everybody coming together and understanding each other. That's always the key, I think, in my opinion, to moving anything forward, is to understand each other and to truly understand where we're coming from, I think, as marginalized students and the goals that we have. I think that's why it'll be so important for us to become a special interest group and then, just elevate our status and essentially become more involved with all of you, which will be awesome. And the second thing that I have is I want to introduce actually our new chair for next year. Our new chair is Daniel Lau. I'm not sure how many of you have met him before. Daniel is a homie. He's a great guy. He works hard. He's always been there pounding the pavement, along with the rest of the board, with Kaya and Di and Frankie and everybody else. He works hard. He's determined to, make goals a reality. And what he really does that's really important, I think, and really special to me, and that I resonate with him, is that he listens to people. He takes the time to listen to people that are different, to people that have different opinions, and just be understanding. And that is very crucial. And I know that he's going to do amazing things next year. And I really hope that all of you get to meet him and get to work with him and the new board next year. They're going to do amazing things. And they're all here to work with you guys, to come together and to do great things. So yeah, I guess I can hand off to Daniel if he wants to say anything, but if not, here we are, and we're excited to get this passed, hopefully.
Thank you so much, Estefan. I honestly don't know how to follow up on that. That was very sweet. Thanks. Well, hi, my name's Daniel. I'm currently a sophomore, incoming DC exec chair. And I just want to say, on the topic of becoming an organization, I think even when you look at the university like as a whole, I mean, you have other organizations such as Prism ND, and I think a lot of students who identify as like LGBTQ plus use that organization as a way to, socialize and meet. But then when you think about like what organization is there just for like POC or BIPOC community on campus, there's so many different answers that you'll get all across campus, because there's just so many organizations related to culture and race. And so to make Diversity Council that organization is very much to kind of create that umbrella organization that we can all come together and not have so many like individual separate entities. Not that that's a bad thing, but we really do. There is a very high need for some sort of conglomeration of all these organizations coming together, and we really see Diversity Council as being that answer. And I'm really excited to be here next year as the DC chair. And if anybody wants to talk or meet, just let me know.
Awesome. So great to have you here with us tonight, Daniel. We're excited that you'll be leading the charge next year. I'll also invite Rachel and Aaron, if either of you want to speak to our involvement in this process as well, would be grateful for that.
I can hop in and just give the Senate just a little bit of insight into what's been going on since the wonderful presentation that Estefan and Frankie gave. I don't remember when last semester, I think November. But ultimately, over the course of the winter break, we met several times with the Black student leaders who were in charge of MSIC, and then also meeting with Estefan and the team from DC, ultimately about how these two organizations could come together. And so DC has worked tirelessly in conjunction with the MSIC leaders on new bylaws that really promote their ability to be involved in the policy process, uplifting and amplifying the voices of marginalized students and getting them in contact with important administrators who can hear them out and work with them to make necessary change on campus. And so I will say I am so grateful to have been a part of the process alongside Rachel and Sarah. I know we have been so happy to help them as best as we could and just, offer our support. And really beyond grateful to Kaya for being our liaison really to DC and just assisting from the student government side. But ultimately they've been in contact with Karen Kennedy and other members of the Division of Student Affairs, really working to hammer these things out. And we're beyond happy and impressed with what they've put together and really excited for them to take this important step today in the process of, again, really just amplifying the voices of marginalized students and uplifting them so that they can be, at the table, which was, of course, really important. Rachel, I don't know if you have anything else.
I think you mostly covered it, Aaron. Thanks. But yeah, just want to say we're super grateful for all the actors who've been so involved in this endeavor. We've really just done our best to facilitate and provide any institutional knowledge that we can. But just a lot of incredible students have really put in so much time and energy because they really truly care about this effort. And I think the student union, as well as just the entire student body, will really benefit from this in the future. So we would be really grateful if you guys could help us and walk hand in hand in this effort to really make the student union more representative. And I also think they've done a fantastic job in consulting all of the relevant stakeholders, making sure that this was a very cooperative and collaborative investment. And it's become something that I think all actors, all relevant people would be really excited about and see as something that will be really productive and really powerful moving forward. So very excited to bring it to you today. It's been kind of a while coming, and I hope that you guys really strongly consider it.
Awesome. Thank you both so much. All I'll add to that is that institutionally, they have a really phenomenal set of bylaws that have been hammered out over this last month that have gotten the stamp of approval as well. And we appreciate you all listening to this context and hearing the narrative develop. But I will ask at this point for any one of you four to read the text of the resolution, or the order actually, just so the senators know the exact language. So if anyone feels so called, I'll invite you to read it.
I can do it. All right. Okay, in order proposing an amendment to the Constitution of the undergraduate student body to establish Diversity Council as a special interest organization. Whereas the University of Notre Dame believes in its commitment to respect the dignity of every person, build a Notre Dame community in which all can flourish, and live in solidarity with all, particularly the most vulnerable, according to the principles of diversity and inclusion. Whereas the spirit of inclusion affirms the university's commitment to welcome all people, regardless of color, gender, religion, ethnicity, sexual orientation, social or economic class, and nationality, on the basis of all persons as God's creations. Whereas national racial justice movements have called upon a necessary and utmost need to lift the voices of underrepresented minorities in our Notre Dame community so that we may progress towards a more diverse and inclusive future. Whereas the University of Notre Dame recognizes in its mission statement that the intellectual interchange essential to a university requires and is enriched by the presence and voices of diverse scholars and students. Whereas Catholic social teaching calls for each person to commit himself or herself to the care and the good of all others, including people from BIPOC and immigrant communities who comprise a common global family, and Pope Francis recognizes the need to acknowledge and apologize for the Church's history with Indigenous people. Whereas BIPOC and immigrant communities play an integral role in the Catholic Church past and present, and especially in Notre Dame's identity as a Catholic institution, and allowing diverse voices to permeate campus discussions would align with Notre Dame's Catholic identity, and as much as it allows students to better care for the BIPOC and immigrant community members of their global family. Whereas the Black Student Association clubs requested specific changes to make campus more inclusive and diverse in the light of the Black Lives Matter protests, which can be materialized by Diversity Council's policy work. Whereas the Diversity Council's relationship with multicultural students programs and services already parallels to that of a special interest organization that requires minimal funding rather than a club. Whereas Diversity Council has a seat on the Student Senate and speaking privileges, which are circumstances typically designated to student organizations rather than clubs. Whereas the University of Notre Dame claims to stand in support of our multicultural communities and therefore needs a body specifically tasked to work on improving the institution where it falls short and at times works against the needs of our BIPOC communities. Whereas student affairs would benefit from the sustained input of students of color and other marginalized students in the areas of campus safety, health and well-being, student life, academic relations, and recruitment and outreach. Whereas pursuant to Article 11, Section 2, representatives of Diversity Council have engaged in conversations with other special interest organizations about those proposed changes ordered by the Student Senate of the University of Notre Dame Duac, that the constitution of the undergraduate student body, pursuant to Section I or 1, 4 of the same, is hereby amended as follows. Diversity Council of Notre Dame. Diversity Council shall serve as a forum where students may collaborate with faculty and university administrators regarding matters affecting the traditionally marginalized and underrepresented students.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, Kaya. And with that, we'll open the floor for any questions. And as always, Ricardo's already got it. You know how, raise that hand. Go ahead, Ricardo.
Hi, thank you very much, Sarah, and thank you to all of the presenters for bringing forth a very well-crafted and, in my opinion, very important piece of legislation before us. This is the questioning section, I now realize. I do have a question, actually, mostly about logistics. I know as it currently stands, Diversity Council is a club on this campus. By virtue of possibly passing this resolution, would Diversity Council be removed from the list of active clubs? Or what exactly would be the logistics of that process? Would it remain as a club? And I think anyone of the presenters or Karen, who I know is very well versed in student affairs, could speak to that.
Yeah, I can. So thanks, Ricardo. I can take a stab at that, which is that Diversity Council, if it becomes a special interest org, would no longer be listed as a club. So you either have club or you have org status. And when you have org status, you can have two different levels. One is special interest org and one is a student union org. And so you don't hold both of them at the same time. So this would actually reclassify Diversity Council into a special interest org and no longer a club. Something I would say is that I'm not sure club is that is what Diversity Council has fallen into in its status as student union. And I think this was shared in the fall, but I can give a little bit of background, which is the reason that Diversity Council falls into that club category right now is really because it came up outside of the student union. It was originally formed by the Multicultural Student Programs and Services Office, primarily as a way for that office to communicate with the many multicultural clubs that existed at the time. This was like decades ago. And so it didn't come up through the student union, it came up that way. But it really always was a conglomeration of clubs. And so it kind of was this odd structure out. And I actually think that this is a really great next step to fit it into a structure that makes more sense, where it's not just a conglomeration of clubs. It's a group that has always been doing some policy work and some advocacy, but DCND has done really great work formalizing that in their bylaws and with a structure that will enable them to continue to do that type of work going forward, and is I think less focused on a sort of organization of clubs among clubs in the way that it was originally designed for by MSPS years ago, if that makes sense. So that was probably more than you need to know, Ricardo, but that's what I can share about club versus org and how it ended up in this sort of odd status.
Yes. Yeah, I fully agree. Thank you very much for the exhaustive answer as always, Karen.
Awesome. Thanks for your sage institutional knowledge, Karen. Patrick Lee, you have a question as well.
Yeah, thanks. Just one quick one. Is there, I realize that the difference between the three kind of classifications, but is there a difference in terms of like voting privileges or funding or something like that? I mean, maybe for someone who's not as well versed in this stuff as I, or as Ricardo is like I am, just like what, is there a huge difference there?
I can take that unless Thomas, do you want to take that or do you want me to take that?
I would have to be yielded to by one of the.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got Thomas. Oh, Kaya's already got me. Beautiful.
Awesome. So in terms of funding, there is a difference now. So special interest orgs have 0.25% of the student union budget automatically allocated to them. That works out to be around $2,000, I believe. So that would be up to FMB to be distributed amongst now, I believe, 6 student union orgs. The question of funding and questions that I had with the leaders that worked on this seemed that funding wasn't an issue. So it would, if they wanted money, they could request it. But that is the funding component. And in terms of voting, there's no voting changes in terms of the Senate other than just the status of being a special interest protected organization in the Constitution.
Thanks, Thomas. I would just add that currently, because they're technically, oh, sorry, Kaya. Currently, because they're technically a club, they could apply for funding also through CCC, but this group actually has not applied for funding historically. MSPS has provided some funding as needed to DCND, and that has formed the basics of its budget. So right now it could apply for CCC funding. It has not. Going forward, it can apply for one of 6 pots that come out of a total of $2,000. So we're talking a small amount that this would make them eligible for. They have said, and I think it's in their bylaws, actually, they don't intend to seek that because they are feel that they're adequately funded by MSPS is what my understanding is. But sorry, I interrupted you, Kaya. You jump in, please.
That's all I was going to say. Just that we're just pretty much rely on funding from MSPS anyway. So that's that.
Beautiful, but great question on the voting too, Patrick. I know it's interesting that DC has a seat on the Senate right now, but doesn't have a vote, but actually no other special interest org has a seat on the Senate right now. So this would kind of just be affirming their status, that seat on the Senate, and as Thomas said, protected as a special interest org. Ricardo's got another question.
Yeah, something else popped into my mind that I would also like to hear about, which is, do we have access to the bylaws, or the proposed bylaws, I should say, of DC? And if we don't, that's fine. But I just want to ask if there is mention of some sort of guideline or working relationship to be established with MSPS. I think that is a very valuable relationship between DC and MSPS. And regardless of whether we do or do not approve this, I'm hoping that we do. And in that case, we, of course, want this relationship to be hopefully enshrined within those bylaws as well, such that it is held in vital importance within the future of this organization.
I'll jump in, and if I might not answer all parts of the question, but yes, we do have bylaws that DC did vote on and approve. And within that, I guess one thing to note is that we do, in the bylaws, it does talk about that an advisor will be appointed to us, I believe by Karen, which is Yvette in MSPS. So that like relationship is pretty kind of like, I would say, solid there. And I don't know if I had an answer to another part of your question.
That answers my question. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I can jump in there. I was pulling up their new bylaws, which I think they voted on last week. So they've actually already done the good and hard work of bylaws to reflect some changes in their organization, but it does also include something about maintaining the relationship with MSPS is right in the purpose, I believe, of the organization or in the bylaws.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, Ricardo. Let's see, any other questions that anyone may have? Do I hear a motion?
Motion to end questioning and move to debate.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, we can vote on that. You guys know the drill, green check marks. All right, fabulous. We have now entered into a debate. Anyone at this point is free to raise a point of debate. Just raise your hand. Ricardo, as always, jumping the gun. I love it.
Thank you very much. If I do not mean to brag, but I do know a lot about clubs, and I do know a lot about how clubs work. And I think, I hope at least that you consider my words when I say that I think DC's purpose is better served as a special interest org rather than a club. And I think all of you should very strongly consider voting in favor of the proposed order. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Ricardo. You are indeed our resident club expert, so we trust you on that. All right, any other points of debate? Just raise those hands.
Motion to end debate and move to a vote.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, beautiful. We can vote on that. I'll clear the green check marks and you can put them on up. Okay, there we have it. I'll clear those again. We have now entered our final vote on SO 2021-26. Once more, I'll ask you all to use those green check marks or those red X's. Or if you abstain, coffee cup. Okay. All right, we'll close voting in 10 seconds. Okay, well, there we have it. DC, you have been unanimously approved as a special interest org. I know this has been a long time coming. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into this, but you guys have done absolutely phenomenal work. We're really excited to incorporate you institutionally, having the student union for years to come. I think this is an incredible movement forward, and we thank you all for your tremendous work.
Thanks so much, everybody. We appreciate you.
Thanks, y'all.
Okay, without further ado, we'll move on to something that I think will be rather fun, which is the 2021 Student Union Awards. So you all have had access to these files. These are, the first one will be the Frank O'Malley Undergraduate Teaching Award. So you can all pull up the list of names that have been nominated for that award. Also, as members of the Student Senate, you all have the ability, if you just didn't have time to fill out this form, but you have a professor that you absolutely love, you can just nominate them right here and right now. I would ask that you first consider the folks that have already been nominated, but if you feel very strongly, you can nominate someone. So I guess what I will do at this point in time, if you all have it pulled up, I will kind of just open the floor. This is a bit more freewheeling. You can raise your hand and offer a point of debate about a certain individual. You can offer an individual up for nomination. This can just be a discussion. So I'd invite anyone that has strong feelings to kick us off. Lainey, go for it.
Hi, I thought I already nominated this professor, but apparently I did not. So I'm gonna nominate her here. Professor Michelle Whaley, I had her for both intro bio last spring and for my intro bio lab. And I feel like she really taught us like so many skills needed in just like the bio world. And not only that, she also just cares so deeply for all her students. I met with her so many times trying to figure out like how to find a professor for research and how to email people and how to write papers in the science world. And like every single time, without a doubt, she was always so helpful, but she also like pushed me to do it by myself. And so she's just a really great professor and great for bio majors, great for just science people in general, and especially in like the research world.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that nomination, Lainey. Just so you guys know how this is working, Madison is not with us tonight because she's getting confirmed, which is super exciting. So Thomas is back in his old role as student union parliamentarian. He is running a Google form right now with all of these names, and he just sent me a message. If you can look up for the folks that you are nominating the spelling of your professor's name and drop that in the chat, Thomas can then seamlessly add it to the Google form. So Lainey, if you want to do that, that would be awesome. Oh, she already did it. Fabulous. Okay, and I will turn it over to Grace Franco then.
Yeah, I didn't nominate anyone, but I saw Professor Spence's name on here, who I had last semester for Principles of Micro, and I just wanted to echo my support for him because not only do I think he's a great professor, or the GOAT as this nominator described, but unfortunately, Olivia and Valeria were in our section, and after their tragic passing, he was so good about understanding the toll that that took on students, bringing his wife into one of our classes to show that she was even there for us too, talking about why our education at Notre Dame means something, even adjusting the weights and the averages of like our exams and midterms and finals, just because he knew the emotional toll that we were under. So not only do I think he's great at teaching econ, even though econ is by no means my thing, but he also really looks out for the individual, which is something that's really special.
Thanks so much for that heartfelt reflection, Grace. Really appreciate that. I'll now invite Eliza to the floor.
Hi, thank you. So I just wanted to talk specifically about Professor Walden. She is the last name on the list due to her last name. And I had her, I have her currently in Elements of Computing 2, but I also had her previously in last semester's Elements of Computing 1. And I can echo a lot of the sentiments that were included in the comments for her nomination. She is both extremely intelligent, but she makes information, specifically with computing and all things related to data science, very accessible to all students. She is always willing to both be flexible and accommodating to students. So I was in the hospital both last semester and this semester at 2 different times, which is very uncommon. And she delayed both 3 weeks of work for me so that I was able to focus on building up my health instead of always stressing about the grade. She also believes in in an ungrading method, which specifically makes you allow to do a grade contract in the beginning of the year, and then all you have to do is hit the deadlines. There is no exact grading per assignment. It's an overall commitment to put in the work in the class, and if you do your part to participate in the class, she'll give you that A or B or whatever you decide on. And then as a person, she has been able to introduce coding and computing in a very unique way, and she talks about the impact it has on a lot of marginalized groups. We are studying a book called Data Feminism, in which she talks about the ways in which how we collect data and interpret data, it can affect the way people see the world and how they perceive the world, and how we need to do better in our data collection in order to help those communities. And she starts really important topics and really important conversations that are often forgotten about or not even included in things such as like computing is very technical, but she includes a humanitarian base that allows a lot of people to benefit. So I full-heartedly support this nomination and believe everyone else should vote.
Thanks so much for sharing, Eliza. Really appreciate that. I will turn it over to Danny Skirmerhorn.
Yeah, I'm going to echo Grace here and say that when she said that Forrest Spence was the GOAT, she's definitely correct, because he was definitely my favorite teacher last semester. He just made learning economics really fun. And I swear by the first week, even with all of our math, he knew every single person's name. And there were like 150 people in the class. So he's just a really special guy, special teacher. And I fully support his nomination.
Love it. Thanks so much, Danny. I'll hand it over to Thomas Davis.
Super. Thanks, Sarah. So obviously I made all these submissions. I hope all the submissions came through for everyone. After I took all the forms, my roommates came to me, and 2 of them are engineers. And they said they really, really, really wanted to write something for Todd Taylor, but they just forgot, and because they're so busy. I know how hard my roommates work in their engineering field, especially my one roommate, Tyler. I believe Todd Taylor is one of his advisors for DBF, Design Build Fly, or some aerospace club. He speaks so highly of him. So I just wanted to echo on behalf of my roommates, Todd Taylor. And also for Spence, I'm an econ major. I've never had a class with Professor Spence, but I do work in the econ department. And his office is across from the mailroom where I stake out in the mornings. And he comes to me every day and says hello, asks how I'm doing, especially in this difficult time, and really cares. He doesn't have to do that. There's a bunch of professors in the department. They're all great, but he goes above and beyond to say hello. I think everyone who's had them knows that. So I can't vote, but if I had 2 votes, I'd vote for them.
Thanks so much, Thomas. All right, anyone else have any thoughts they want to share on beloved professors? Do I hear a motion to end debate and move to a vote?
Motion to end debate and move to a vote.
Second.
All right, let's all vote on that. Green check marks. Okay, fabulous. So how this is going to work is Thomas, as acting student union parliamentarian, has put together a handy Google form, which I believe I should be sharing the agenda with him to edit. That's what I should be doing right now. He will drop that in the agenda. You will be able to click on it and vote for one professor who you believe is most deserving. He just dropped it in the chat. That's very handy as well.
Actually, it's because of the list. There's 5. So most likely this will be a multi-ballot type of thing. So once we get the top 5, we'll then revote on our top 5 choice, if that makes sense.
Beautiful. Yes, absolutely. So let's do that. So we're just narrowing right now, folks. Culling the list. Okay, I'll give you guys 30 seconds to vote on that. If anyone's having trouble with that Google form, just holler. Okay, we'll close in 10 seconds, everyone. Okay, beautiful. Voting is now closed. Thank you, Thomas. And I trust that you will put together one more Google form with our top 5. Okay, cool. We'll just give Thomas a moment to do that. Once we have our top 5, I'll just open it up for debate one more time if anyone who has not spoken yet has anything to say.
Okay, so there are 4 and then 2 tied for 5th. So there's now 6. It's the same ballot. It should, if you refresh the page, so click on the same link, refresh the page, it should re-allow you to vote.
You want to announce who those 6 are, Thomas?
Yeah, so it's Maria McKenna, Tim O'Malley, Forrest Spence, Todd Taylor, Catherine Walden, and Michelle Whaley.
Fabulous. Okay, now that you know the top 6, I will once again open the floor for debate if anyone would like to say anything else, but not necessary.
I will just comment, Thomas, I am refreshing the link right now, and I'm not sure if it says it's no longer accepting responses. I don't know if that's because we're not technically voting right now or if we're in debate or something, but I just want to let you know, just in case you were expecting it to still be open.
Yeah, I did have it off, Ben. I just turned it on. If you want to check, don't vote because I'll clear it, but it should be good to go. right, I
All
got
right.
one. So I'm going to close.
Thank you, Thomas. Any more points of debate, or should we close debate once more?
Motion to end debate and move to a vote.
Second.
Okay, let's vote on that. Green check marks, and then Thomas will open up that final form. Okay, great. Round 2 of voting can begin. I'll give you folks about 30 seconds again. All right, everyone, 10 seconds, get those votes in. All right, I know some people are still discerning, but I'm going to give you a 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. I do believe we've hit a quorum, Thomas, correct?
As long as we have quorum for voting members, that's good.
It looks like we're good. Okay, so then I can now announce the winner of the 2021 Frank O'Malley Undergraduate Teaching Award, and the winner is Forrest Spence. Super exciting. Clap for Forrest Spence. I know my dad loves Forrest Spence. I've never had Forrest Spence, but we saw his presentation over JPW and my dad was blown away. So good for Forrest Spence. Thank you all for voicing your opinions and really look forward to telling him that he's the winner. So exciting stuff. Awesome. Okay, well, we're just going to keep this party rolling. The next one is a little bit different. So this is the Michael J. Palumbo Award, and how this one works is that nominations were fielded from the student body, and then the Student Union Ethics Commission gathered and debated these nominees. They came to a consensus on who they believed should be put forward for this award, and I do believe it's Julia's night and not Kurt's. So I will have to ask for another member of the Student Union Ethics Commission to read this letter. If not, I can read it myself. But
I can read it. I'm on the Ethics Commission.
Oh,
so
beautiful.
Yeah, let me just pull it up really quick.
Thank you. Thank
you. Members of the Student Senate, the Student Union Ethics Commission would like to present its nominee for the Michael J. Palumbo Award. This award, named in honor of its first recipient, honors an undergraduate student for his or her outstanding dedication and service to the University of Notre Dame Student Union. The nominee must also have demonstrated outstanding character in the best tradition of Notre Dame, have faithfully upheld the Constitution of the undergraduate student body, and have performed services so as to greatly further the causes of the student union. It is with great pleasure that we present Sam Canova as the nominee of the Student Union Ethics Commission for this year's Michael J. Palumbo Award. Sam's experience within the student union and his 4-year commitment as the class council president for the class of 2021. Sam has worked tirelessly over his 4 years to lead the class council and make the lives of his peers in the 2021 class as best as possible. He has successfully coordinated numerous events for the class of 2021, but his work has not stopped there. Sam has gone above and beyond the call of class president by working with and mentoring the class councils below him. He has imparted his wisdom and experience to other class councils so they may more effectively carry out their duties. This service, specifically in his capacity as a mentor, has greatly benefited the overall cause of the student union to better the lives of all Notre Dame students of all classes. Additionally, he has been a continued source of light throughout the many difficult meetings that have been held during the COVID times. He has always sought to bring joy to meetings, but this impact has been more salient and appreciated over the past year during the pandemic. His membership in the Student Senate and in other groups of campus leaders is always welcome because of his unique ability to bring joy and laughter to difficult and tiring conversations. In the words of one of his recommenders, Sam is dedicated and passionate. He will drop most anything to help an event go well or sit with a struggling member of class council. He has balanced his academics with his extracurriculars, he has served the community repeatedly, and he embodies the pillars of Notre Dame. Sam has been a source of light, a mentor, a leader, and a friend to all of the branches of the student union and their members. And there is no one more deserving of the Palumbo Award. Respectfully submitted, Kurt Golden, but me.
Thank you so much for reading that, Sarah, and thank you for your work as the Senate representative on the Student Union Ethics Commission. So Sam, I'm so glad that you got to hear those beautiful words being spoken about you, but I will now kick you out so we can debate. Goodbye, my friend. All right, I will now open the floor for any points of debate about Sam Canova. There will be no questions, although Sam Canova always brings the best questions. So, would anyone like to raise a point of debate? Also, just for clarification, this is kind of a yes or no thing. Sam has been nominated. It's like nominating like the sub-executive director. So, any points of debate regarding Sam?
Motion to end debate and move to a vote.
Second.
All right, let's vote on that. Fabulous. I'll clear those green check marks. We have now entered a vote on the nomination of Sam Canova for the Michael J. Palumbo Award. In favor, green check mark. Against, red no. You guys know the coffee cup is abstain. Love it. Okay. Unanimously approved. I will bring Sam back in. Where is he? There he is. Sam, unanimous approval. Congratulations, my friend.
Thanks so much. That really flattering, guys, and thanks for the touching note. If the award is about service, I will say, playing around Sunday with you guys or doing like Gatsby ball up in the ballroom or just food giveaways on the quad doesn't really feel like service. So super glad I got to do it with all of you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Sam. We really appreciate you. Love it. Okay, well, we're just going to keep it rolling. Good vibes all around. We'll move to the Irish Clover Award. And there are two different parts of this. We'll do staff first. As you guys are well aware, 2 weeks ago when we made Nancy cry on Zoom, we made the Nancy J. Walsh Irish Clover Award, which is now explicitly for faculty or staff. So you all can read the nominations there. I believe we have 5 staff nominations. Karen Kennedy is one of them, our beloved Karen Kennedy. So I believe I will kick her out at this point because she is being considered, but we really appreciate her. So we'll see you soon, Karen. Okay, wonderful. Great, you all have had an opportunity to read those. Would anyone like to bring up a point of debate? The floor is open. Yes, no, maybe so. I will just out myself and say that I am the one who wrote the first recommendation for Karen. I think that she is one of the best human beings on this planet. So selfless, so generous, so hardworking. I'm much more eloquent in my writing than I am right now, so just read what I wrote. But also my beloved rector, Liz Detweiler of Walsh Hall, is also here as a nominee. I know you probably don't all know her, but she's also a ray of sunshine in my life and has been for the last 4 years. So again, I really think you can't go wrong with Karen or Liz. Those are my 2 cents. So I will now smile upon Aaron.
Thank you, Sarah. It's going to be tough to follow up the president of the Karen Kennedy Fan Club, which is what we affectionately call Sarah at times. If you read the second nomination for Karen, I kind of gave away that it was me. Having been a part of the student union pretty much since my first year here, I have gotten to know Karen pretty well, and especially over the course of the past year in particular. And for those of you who are on the younger side, you don't know a time before Karen Kennedy. But let me just say, Karen has absolutely transformed and revitalized the Student Activities Office in ways none of us would have ever thought of. She has been an absolute godsend to the students of this university, especially this year. The stuff and the programming that she has put on at times on very short notice is just remarkable, and her dedication to the student body is unparalleled, in my opinion. She is an absolute star, and as I hope you all have gotten to see through the Senate and any other experiences you have with her, she is so committed to this university and to the student body in general. So definitely would advocate that you vote for her.
Thanks so much, Erin. Before I recognize the next person, I also will add, you're allowed to nominate anyone else at this time as well, too. Same thing for the Frank O'Malley. If you feel there's another staff or faculty member that is deserving, feel free to put them forward. But I will now recognize Thomas.
With all respect to the other nominees, I'm sure they're fantastic people. This should be the quickest vote of all time. Please vote Karen.
Thank you, Thomas. Love that brevity. Okay, we have Rachel.
Just some final words on the Karen point. I just think that Karen is an absolute rock star. And not only is she so amazing at what she does in maintaining a well-oiled machine of SAO, which, like Erin said, it did not used to be like that. She also just has such a kind heart and is such a compassionate human being. When she found out Erin, Sarah, and I went to quarantine, she brought us care packages with coloring books and magazines and a variety of snacks. And it was so sweet. I just think she constantly does the most without, oh, there you go, cereal. She constantly does the most without complaint. She is so dependable, so reliable. We genuinely could not have asked for a better advisor. And so really just want to sing her praises one last time and encourage that you vote for her and all that she does for us.
Beautiful. All right, do I hear any other points of debate?
Motion to end debate and move to a vote.
Second. Let's vote on that. Green check marks, folks. All right, we're all good. And Thomas, do you want to drop that Google form? It is live in the chat, folks. Okay, folks, it looks like almost everyone has voted. I'll give you all 2 more seconds. It seems like everyone has voted. Okay, I will close voting. I am very excited to say that Karen has won. This is cool. Let's bring her back in and celebrate her because I feel like she doesn't get celebrated enough. So I will bring her back in. Is she here? Do I see her?
She just popped back in.
Oh, beautiful. Karen, where are you? Oh, there she is. Karen, you are the first Nancy J. Walsh Irish Clover, a winner. Yay.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, everyone. That's so very sweet. The nominations were so kind, though I feel like I'm just here to do my job. And what a great job it is that my job is to get to work with all of you every single day. So thank you very much. But I am the one who is lucky.
Well, we are so lucky to have you in our lives, Karen. I really appreciate you. Okay, clap emoji. Amazing. All right, again, the good vibes just keep on coming. I will now open up the Irish Clover Student Award. So you're gonna have to scroll a little bit farther down that document. But again, I believe there were 13 incredible folks nominated for this award. And you're also welcome and willing to nominate anyone else for it as well. So I will now open the floor up for any points of debate.
Where is the list of people who are nominated for this?
Mike Murakami, it is on the Senate agenda. Irish Clover Award is linked. You're going to click on that, wait for that to load, and then I'm doing the same thing right now. You scroll down to the third page. So pages 3 through 8 are nominees.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. I'll give you folks a minute to read that. I know it's a lot of information. Michael Murakami.
If I may, I'd like to nominate Thomas Davis for this award. I think he's done an incredible job, both helping us kind of adapt to Senate, the job that he's done very clearly for the student union and student government in general, and how he's progressed. Just a lot of things, taken a lot of roles that have come up that he kind of didn't have to or didn't really need to. And I think he's done a phenomenal job just kind of being selfless and being a true like definition of service and true definition of the brilliance of Notre Dame.
That is very kind, Michael. I would second that. This also now means that we need to have someone else to handle the vote, but that's perfectly fine. Thomas, I can handle the vote for now. I think I can do it on my own. You've trained me well. So is that fine by you?
Yeah, thanks, Mike. I dropped the link in the agenda, and I also shared that with you, sir. So.
Okay, and we're good without you. Yeah. Okay, bye, friend. I'll kick you out. Put in the waiting room. Okay, fabulous. Other points of debate?
Sarah, a question. Do we have to kick out other people who were nominated who are still in the room?
Probably, yes. I wasn't thinking that through, so that means we need to kick out Sam Canova for sure. I know that. Where is he? I'm trying. You just read to me the people and I'll kick them out. Why can't I find Sam Canova? Is he here? Okay, I think Sam left. We're fine. Is there anyone else?
He's the only one, I think.
Okay, then we're good. Okay, then Thomas is out of here. Sweet. Other points of debate, folks. Miles Kelly.
I just want to speak in favor of Pat McGuire. He's an RA in Siegfried. He was student body vice last year. The first time I saw him in like an actual government setting, I was proxying for my senator, and it was a more hectic Senate meeting than almost anything this year. For idle protest, somebody stormed out. It was, and just the way he handled that, first of all, just like it could have easily dissolved into chaos without him at the helm to like keep everybody happy and make sure to take care of it. But really just this year, like he is not my RA, but I've had more like deep conversations about life and about my career and about anything with him than just about anybody at Notre Dame. And he's always just so nice and so helpful in all of those. And even just walking past him, like you don't think you can get like the good vibes he gives you just from seeing him for like half a second, talking to him for 30 seconds. I guess I just couldn't endorse that more. So I hope you consider voting for Pat.
Thanks so much, Miles. I did just get one comment. Just to make you all aware, Patrick McGuire did win this award last year. Very well deserved. There's nothing that says he can't win it again. Oh, Miles, you're totally fine. There's nothing to say he can't win it again. I just wanted people to be aware. Okay.
I am now aware. My bad.
No, you're fine, Miles. I think that he very much deserves to win it twice, so don't worry. Okay, Rachel.
On the Pat McGuire point, you're so right. He's literally just like sunshine personified, and he's done such a great service to the student body. So with you there, Miles. But since he has already won it, I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but I would love to nominate Sarah or make a motion for somebody else to nominate Sarah, just because I think she's just done such a fantastic job this year. She cares so deeply about all of you guys, and she takes Senate so seriously. And she really, really is so intentional about everything that you do. She runs this so well. And so I'm not sure if I can actually make the nomination or if that has to be senator. I can? Cool. Then I'm going to nominate Sarah, just because I couldn't give her more glowing reviews. And maybe that's biased coming from me. But I think she's just done such a fantastic job, and she does deserve recognition for it.
Well, I appreciate that, Rachel, very much. This does kind of complicate things. I will have to leave. But, you know, Aaron has taken over in my stead in the past, so I'll give it to him. If someone would like to nominate Aaron, then someone else will have to take over for him. But I will now, can I kick myself out, Aaron? I don't know.
No, I have the pleasure, Sarah.
Okay, goodbye.
I think I have to remove your co-host permission first.
Oh, God. That's okay.
And we will say goodbye.
Okay. Goodbye.
I'm back at it, folks, whether you liked it or not, round two. That being said, Rachel, you still have your hand up. I'm going to assume that's residual and you took it down. Thank you. So Lainey.
Yeah, I'd just like to echo Rachel's point. I was going to nominate Sarah as well. She's done so much for us this year in Senate and also just the student body in general. So I just think that she really deserves this award.
Thank you so much, Lainey. Eliza.
Yeah, I would also like to continue the love for Sarah train. I've had the pleasure to get to know her both as a person, but also as a leader. And I've known her since my first year, and she probably doesn't know the great impact she's had on my life as a student leader. And she's always pushed me to be better. And she is one of the most inspiring individuals. And when I hear her talking, whether it be class in some of our global affairs classes, or just listening to the amazing things she has planned for her future, I know she's going to be a light to a lot of people's lives, like she has been for me and a lot of people here on campus. So I think she is way deserving of this award. So I'll end with that. Thank you.
Thanks, Eliza. Grace.
Yeah, I know we hate when we're redundant on Senate, but I would feel so terrible if I didn't speak up for my next door, second floor neighbor. Sarah, obviously we all know her as like the chair of the Senate and student body vice president, and she's so articulate and so kind. But I also think it's so commendable that between everything she's doing, she always makes time for her Walsh community as well, whether it's like making sure she gets to know all the freshmen, leading yoga for us every Sunday, making sure she comes to our hall council events when she has like way bigger student government meetings, I think, every day of the week. Just so intentional with her time. Every time you see her, she really asks about how you're doing, and you can tell that she really cares when you're telling her how you are. So yes, as we know, all around great person, not just student government, but like for anyone on this campus, and I think that should be rewarded.
Thanks so much, Grace. Would anybody else like to raise a point of debate or nominate anyone else? In the meantime, I will say this isn't very chairly of me, but I also will have to speak in favor of Sarah getting the chance to work with her over the past year. As originally a new face to student government, but now obviously a seasoned veteran in a crazy year. She has just been such a light in my life and in the life of the student union. But yeah. Seeing no other hands raised, unless anybody else has anything else to say, I might invite a motion to end debate and move to a vote.
Motion to end debate and move to a vote.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Can I see some green check marks? Great. That looks good to me. I'm new to handling the vote thing. Oh,
Do you need to add Sarah to the Google form, or was she already added?
I just did.
Okay, great. Sorry.
Yeah. All good. I will get a link on this thing. I'm new to this, unless someone already has it. It might be in the agenda, but I'm working to find the link so I can share it with y'all in the chat. Okay. It is incoming into the chat. And I will give y'all 30 seconds to vote. $15 more seconds. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and give y'all 10 more seconds. Get those last votes in. All right, we have closed the vote. there's no judicial person in the room. Karen, do we do multiple rounds of voting on this one, or how does it work?
Well, it's not actually like determined by the Constitution, but there has been precedent of doing multiple rounds of voting. What I don't remember is the top how many were selected to move into the second round. We just did this though. How many were selected when we did it?
We did 5.
Okay.
I
great.
will I'm new to this, so give me a second, folks. I will give you a new form in like about a minute. So if anyone has anything to say. All right, I can announce that our top 5 are Grace Stevenson, Patrick McGuire, Sam Canova, Thomas Davis, and Sarah Galbensky. And now I will edit the form to remove everyone else. And now I need to figure out how Thomas cleared all the responses. Oh, delete all responses. Here we go. Okay, does anybody have any point of debate on the top 5?
Motion to end debate and move to a vote.
Second.
All right, can I see some green check marks? Great, that looks good to me. Grace Stevenson, Patrick, Sam, Thomas, Sarah. All right, it will be the same link, and the form is now open, so please refresh, and we will have 30 seconds to vote.
To be clear, we're just choosing one, right?
Yes. All right, folks, 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we have a winner. It is Sarah, so I will let back in Thomas and Sarah and share the news. All right, Thomas and Sarah, I see that y'all are back. It is my great joy as the acting chair of the Senate to announce that the 2021 Irish Clover Award winner is Madam Student Body Vice President Sarah Galbensky. And with that, I cede the chair back to Sarah.
Oh my goodness, thank you guys so much. I was just here reading my People magazine that Karen brought me. This is entirely unexpected, and it's just been the utmost pleasure to work with you all this year. I've had such an enjoyable time, and I'm just so grateful that I know you all will continue to shape Notre Dame for the better in your years to come. It's an honor to know you all. Thanks, guys, and thanks, Erin, for presiding in my stead. I really appreciate it. There were
It
no
was very smooth with the Google form.
I'm impressed. I would not have been. That's why I rely on Thomas for such matters. So, well, again, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. I'm really touched and honored and surprised. So thank you all. Without further ado, that was really fun, but we can move on to more nominations. So super excited about the sub-executive director nomination, and I'll hand it over to Marie to read that for us.
Hello. Okay, I'm also very excited about this nomination. So I'm just going to read this letter verbatim. To the Student Senate of the University of Notre Dame du Lac, I respectfully ask for your consideration in confirming Kate McLaughlin to serve as Student Union Board Executive Director for the 2021-2022 term, my queen as well. I have complete confidence that Kate will faithfully execute the duties of her position in the Student Union Board. Kate possesses all the skills and passions needed to program events that align with SUB's mission. Kate is uniquely experienced in almost every aspect of SUB. Since her freshman year, she has risen through the ranks to gain knowledge about the inner workings of the organization. During her freshman year, Kate was a member of first year sub, which we call Phi Sub, where she learned about programming of Acoustic Cafe events. Kate was then accepted to the Washington, D.C. program during her sophomore year. However, Kate still prioritized her time in sub by serving as the lead programmer for Acoustic Cafe during the spring of 2019. This past year, Kate has risen to the challenge of directing 4 instead of the typical 3 committees in sub, and she's done a fantastic job leading movies, services, and Phi Sub. Kate has done an amazing job inspiring the next generation of leaders through her mentorship with the Phi Sub group, and she's taken the time to get to know each of them personally. It's a testament to Kate's leadership that many of the current Phi Sub members will be continuing their journey in sub through various avenues. The relationships that Kate has worked to develop with these younger members of sub make her even more qualified to be nominated for sub's executive director position. Not only has Kate demonstrated responsibility and organizational skills during her term as a director of programming, Kate has been a role model and mentor to each of the 4 lead programmers she directs. Kate's commitment to furthering the student union does not end with her responsibilities in sub. As a member of the Student Union Ethics Commission, Kate has dedicated countless hours to ensuring that the student union whole is operating in alignment with the Student Union Constitution. It is my hope that this letter of nomination assures you that Kate will contribute greatly to bettering the student union and the entire undergraduate body through her role as sub's executive director next year. I hold high hopes for her work to come, as I have witnessed her development into a compassionate and dedicated student leader during her time at Notre Dame. Respectfully submitted, me.
Thanks so much, Mairead. We can now open the floor for any questions for either Kate or Mairead. Also, I love your mask, Kate. Very cute.
Thank you.
Any questions, folks, or do I hear a motion?
Motion to end questioning, move to debate.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, let's vote on that. All in favor? Okay, sweet. We can now move into debate. Unfortunately, I will have to kick you out, Kate, but looking forward to welcoming you back soon. Okay, love it. Would anyone like to raise a point of debate on Kate's nomination? Beautifully written, Mairead.
Motion to end debate, move to a vote.
Second.
Love it. Let's vote on that. Okay, great. I will clear those green check marks, and we've now moved into a vote on the nomination of Kate McLaughlin to become the executive director of SUB. And I'll also take this opportunity while I wait for the votes to tabulate to thank Mairead for her absolutely fabulous work this year as executive director of SUB. It's been a pleasure to work with you in the student union, and you are just a shining star. So we really appreciate you.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you.
Okay, get those votes in, people. I know we don't have enough. Okay, there we have it. Awesome, another unanimous vote. We can admit Kate. All right. Oh, there I see her. Welcome back, Kate. You have been unanimously approved to be the sub executive director. Really looking forward to see all that you do, and best of luck.
Thank you guys so much. I'm really excited.
We're excited for you. Awesome. Thank you, Kate, and thank you, Mairead. Okay, final order of business. We can move on to our Assistant Student Union Treasurer's nomination, and I'll hand that over to Minu.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, I will also be reading this verbatim, but here we go. Dear Senate, as stated in the undergraduate constitution of the University of Notre Dame, the Student Union Treasurer shall recommend to the Student Senate 2 Assistant Student Union Treasurers. At this time, I am pleased to extend my full recommendation to Claire Sison and Luke Blazek for this position. Claire is a sophomore majoring in both accounting and music. She's an active member of the Notre Dame community, serves as a leader in PRISM ND and a mentor in ND's LGBTQ mentorship program, participates in liturgical choir, and engages in coursework and projects that exemplify her expertise on subject matters relevant to the position of Assistant Student Union Treasurer as an accounting teaching assistant. She has also been involved in prominent accounting internship programs, through PwC and the IRS. Her prior work, diverse interests, and experiences in serving the Notre Dame community through various channels make her a great candidate for this position. Luke is a freshman majoring in finance. Luke is also a very active member of the Notre Dame community, participating in student government's FUEL program. During his time in FUEL, Luke was an integral member of a team that coordinated Zoom civil discourse events, such as Speak for America at ND and Money Talks, where he facilitated constructive conversation among students about economic issues. Everything from his early involvement in student union to his proficiency in speech and debate, Luke's involvement, talents, along with his strong interest to become more involved in the student community, make him a great candidate for this position. I can recommend both of these students without reservation because of their immense passion for giving back to the Notre Dame community. I am requesting that Senate approve their nominations as a result of their extensive qualifications and their level of commitment to effectively contributing to the experiences of Notre Dame students. Thank you for your time and consideration. Respectfully submitted, Minu Selden.
Thanks so much, Minu. Also beautifully written. And we'll open the floor for any questions for Claire, Luke, or Minu at this time.
Motion to end questioning and move to a debate.
Okay, I saw a hand as a second. We can vote on that. Awesome, we can now move into debate. I'll have to kick you out, Claire and Luke, but hope to welcome you back very soon. Also, Luke, I like your mask. I know it's the Texas flag, but it looks like the Chilean flag, so I like that.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Now they're both in the waiting room. Would anyone like to raise a point of debate on either Claire or Luke?
Motion to end debate, move to a vote.
Second.
Great, okay. We can now vote on that. Awesome, okay, requisite number of votes. I will clear those green check marks. And we have now entered our official vote for the nomination of Claire and Luke to be Assistant Student Union Treasurers. Give you guys 5 more seconds. Okay, it is just the night of unanimous nominations. We love to see it. I will admit both Claire and Luke. All right, I think they both are back. Yes, I see both Claire and Luke. You both were unanimously confirmed for your roles as Assistant Student Union Treasurer. So really look forward to seeing the work that you do. And I know that Minu will be so pleased to have you both by her side.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yay. Okay, fabulous. So those were all of our general orders for this evening. What we have to look forward to next week in our final meeting, which I can hardly believe, is our final State of the Student Union address from our very own Rachel Engel, and SS 2021-37, which is a resolution acknowledging, defining, and condemning anti-Semitism in solidarity with Jewish students. As you can see, there is more room on that agenda if anyone would like to fill it in any manner. I also think I can make this announcement at this point, but as Sam Canova said, Senate next week will be a formal affair, which we're very much looking forward to. I also would like to share that Rachel and Aaron and I have arranged a little something for you all before Senate. We will be getting not 1, but 2 food trucks to be surrounding the Jordan area. They are not just for you, they are for the larger student body, but they are timed around Senate. So I believe they will be pulling up to campus around 6:30 if you want to spend a nice hour having some food with your Senate friends. They'll be on the library lawn from 6:30 to 8:30. So hope to see you all there to celebrate all you've done this semester as wonderful senators. And we'll have that final meeting. So without further ado, I can now open the floor to any announcements we have at this time. Just raise those hands. Michael Murakami.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, let's vote on that. Green check marks. There we have it. Okay, thanks for a great meeting tonight, guys. Really hope to see you in person, feeling super optimistic. But awesome. Have a great night, guys. Great to see you all.
Thanks everybody again.